fat, healthy fish in an algae-free tank? Yes, you can. Hey guys, Devin with ReefDudes, and today with Ask ReefDudes, Lee writes in asking how can you feed your fish to keep them fat and healthy and not have any nitrate and phosphate issues? Well, personally, I don't believe in underfeeding your fish. I think if a fish is happy, it's fat, it's healthy, it's going to be less prone to stress and diseases and other issues. So I feed my fish quite a bit actually. On the daily basis, I feed my fish a sheet of nori. So that's kind of like the sushi roll size sheet. I also feed them a little bit of PE pellets, like a very small amount in the afternoon via my auto feeder in the summer. And I also feed them frozen PE mysis at nighttime. Now, if you're having nutrient issues, part of it depends on what you're actually feeding the fish. Frozen foods are actually very low in nutrients. They're high in nutrients, but they're not stuff that's going to decompose in your tank as quickly. Whereas if you feed just dry food or pellet food, that's likely going to cause more nitrate and phosphate issues. So you might want to look at what you're feeding to start. Now the other half of the battle is nutrient export. So one of the biggest things I attribute to not having issues is running my chaeto reactor. Now the chaeto reactor, as the chaeto grows, it absorbs nitrates and phosphates, which is exactly what you're trying to remove. Now if you're only having a phosphate issue, you can use a GFO reactor. Mine's not currently turned on right now, but I have one of my DIY reactors in the back, and one's full of carbon, one's full of GFO. And GFO does an excellent job at removing phosphates. However, you got to be careful with GFO because using too much GFO can actually cause issues on your tank. You can strip out too much of the good stuff and it's going to harm your corals. To start out, I would take a look at what you're feeding. If you're feeding lots of dry food, I'd cut back on that and feed more frozen food because that's going to have a lot less nutrient impact on your tank. And by the time it biodegrades, most of your frozen food will be eaten by the inverts and cleanup crew and fish and everything else inside of your tank. If you are feeding really heavy, maybe you gotta look at a little more nutrient export, and that can be done via the chaeto reactor, could be done through GFO, just be careful, don't use too much, or just do more water changes. But any of these things will help keep your nutrients down and keep your fish fat and healthy. So if you guys have a question, head over to reefdudes.com/ask, fill out the form, and I'll ask your question on the air. Anything else, guys? If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, or any other questions, comments, tips for Lee, let them know in the comments below. Happy reefing.